Alright, howdy. Doing errands today. I got one left. So I was like, hey, let's do a short video. And then I'll make some more later. And then try to like combine them, or maybe I'll do them separate. I'm not really sure. I just wanted to go with it. I don't even know what to talk about. It's like sort of a quiet day, but sort of like a silly day too, you know. I got a friend coming over like somewhat soon. You know, it's like 2:30 now and in the PM. And she said sometime after 3 is when she'll be able to show up. So, I mean, she'll let me know. It's not like she'll just show up and be like, oh my god, where are you? Been knocking for 15 hours and I'm nowhere to be found. So, I don't know. I'm on double time here trying to get to my last errand. And then I'm heading back to the apartment. And I gotta fucking just run in and out of this bitch. So I can get there on time and stuff. Not that she's gonna be like, I mean, she said sometime after 3, so it's not like I gotta be there at 3, but I mean, I'd rather just kind of have, I don't know, like not be so like to the wire with it. And just kind of be there, you know? So my car, like recently, it started making these whiny noises. And it makes me think that the power steering pump is going to go. It's sort of like a gradual process. That's definitely a part that, at least the power steering pump itself, like when it goes, it's like, it's hard to explain. It just sort of goes whenever it's ready to go. Most of the time, it's never your fault, ever. It just kind of, alright, I'm done now. And the car is like, seriously, I don't even know, like 23, 24 years old. So I'm like, oh, okay. And it was like, just one day, like a week and a half ago, I turned it on. And I was like, backing up out of my parking spot. And it was like, as soon as I turned the wheel, it was like, I was like, oh man. It's like a simple fix, and it's not a big problem. It's like, seriously, just, this is what happens. Over enough time, the part's like, oh, okay, well, all this metal and plastic and liquid has just moved enough around to just say, you know, that's about enough of that. I can't go on. So leave. You'll think I am dead, but I will go somewhere else. And then my spot, my replacement. To fill my shoes is a power steering instead of a super difficult left and right, if you can make it, turn. Which is the way, I guess it used to be before power steering. In fact, I'm actually pretty curious as to, like, how this whole, like, transmission drive scenario went at first. Because I think I understand, like, there was no reverse or something at first in a car. And then they, figured out reverse or something. I assume it's like, you just turn around and, add your planetary gear to the fucking transmission, and it's like, oh, it goes backwards if you do it this way. I don't know how it goes. I've never made a transmission. I assume, right? You go this way. Having it built the way it is this way, and then, like, I don't know, configure yourself the other way and make it that way. Just turn yourself around, make one like you did the first time, and bam, you're going backwards. But, like, the drive scenario, right? Like, drive is a very interesting thing because you put it in drive, right? You get it in neutral, and if you're on flat ground, assuming it's flat, right? Flat. There's no incline either way. You go nowhere. It's just neutral, right? You're not supposed to. You just kind of hang out there like, man, anything comes at me, man, I'm moving somewhere, I know it. And what are those things called? Those things that, like, a lot of mystics or whimsical, those are the whimsical A pendulum, that's what it is. It's like a pendulum. Wow, okay. So it's like... Okay, sorry about that. I'm back at my apartment now, and I was in the middle of explaining something while driving, and my phone got overheated and just decided to shut off. So I only got up to that point, so I figured once I got back to my apartment, I would try to explain the rest of that thing I was trying to explain. So basically what I was saying is that the car, the vehicle, you know, a vehicle, an automobile has like drive, has this geared drive. And like when you put it in neutral, it's supposed to go neither way. It's just sort of like there, and any force acted upon it, it will just sort of take that, it will be influenced by it. But like you put it in drive, and basically what drive says is that you're kind of in neutral. However, I have given you, it's like being in a hold fast, but there is a direction, a declaration of a direction given. Therefore, a force acts upon it. And it's more likely, I mean, if any way it's going to be influenced by, it's going to be the direction that it's been told to go. Unless the force is too much greater than the, you know, whatever. Then it would obviously go wherever the fuck. But drive is really interesting because, like, if you just put it into drive, and you're on a flat surface, much like I was saying with neutral, drive will actually, you'll actually propel forward. Like, it's sort of confusing because it makes you wonder, okay, you don't step on the gas or brake. It's like being in neutral because you're just sort of sitting there, but it's been given a command to go forward. You know, one direction, that's it. And if you just sit there and you're on level ground, being in drive, you'll actually propel forward. You'll actually make headway. You'll actually go somewhere. There'll be like actual velocity, you know? And not just sitting there. It's a very big difference between neutral and drive. And I sort of wonder like how they even came up with that, or how that goes on. And it's like really simple if I want to try to explain it myself without looking at, I mean, I don't know, right? What can I gather that it could be? I suppose it's like, drive is like, okay, you've got a car, you've got an engine. If I were to tell this engine and this car combined that if it were to show its ability, this engine chassis combined, what would it do with it? So basically you give the car a command like, okay, whatever it is that you as a system of parts, a system can do, I will give you the direction to go forward, and you show me if there's anything that can be shown with your abilities through the act of saying, if you're to go and show anything, forward will be the way to do it. And the car and the engine say, okay. So you put it in drive, which is, you know, that system plus direction. And it's like the engine itself causes it to propel forward, whether or not, like it causes it to propel. Basically, I guess is what it's saying. Like an engine propels. I mean, I really can't make that sort of a statement because an engine plus automobile while in drive or while given a direction, apparently, consistently enough, shows that it goes forward. Actually propels forward, whether or not you touch it, but it's got to be level ground. Obviously, influence of backward, forward. It doesn't exist in this scenario that I'm talking about. I don't know. It's just really kind of an interesting concept. It probably sounds like, you know, fiddlesticks simple to anybody else, possibly, I guess, listening to this. But to me, it's really an interesting concept that this engine alone, in combination with this automobile, if you just tell it strictly with, you know, basic line mechanics and a mechanical design and a, I suppose, you know, transmission involved is sort of an electrical program command. It's hard to explain, you know. It's one of them things, like, I'm trying to be very careful with my words, but in the way that I think personally, combustion in a lot of ways is sort of like this magic. I'm not saying there isn't like intelligence, as it may sometimes be mistaken as, you know, magic being like not of the realm of intelligence. And magic is basically like a really high level math that most people can't even comprehend, and it's a real skill and sleight of hand or sleight of something at a skill so high that you simply do not see it. It is considered invisible, and invisible doesn't mean not there. Invisible just means something other than visible, right? But I don't know. That's what I was trying to explain, was that drive is really interesting to me because it really shows something about like an engine. Like, what does that thing actually do? It can actually, if you just say, if you were to go anywhere, like, you don't say you're going to move forward, go forward. You're saying, when given a possible direction and, you know, pathway, if you were to show what you can do, if this is a possible anything, like a possible light in which to see you, so to speak, engine and automobile chassis, what would you show me, sort of thing. And the combination shows that it does in fact move it forward in the direction given. Whether or not you actually directly tell it to move forward with your intentions of the gas pedal. This is just the way I look at it. It's pretty simplified, the whole idea. It's probably just something I fascinated over because the way I was thinking about it. You know, maybe drive is a little bit more complex than I thought. Maybe it actually nudges, you know, the gears forward. It actually nudges things at the same time. Sort of like an acting force upon this energetic propulsion, this combustion engine. Like, you know, that thing plus a nudge at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know the inner workings exactly of all that. It was just a passing thought, so that's all I got to share. And I'll just try to combine the last video with this video and then upload that. So thanks for listening. Alright, bye.